What if the most important thing about Bitcoin's price isn't how high it goes, but how fast it breaks its last all-time high? Bitcoin might be repeating a pattern that has appeared in every single cycle. And if this pattern continues, it could tell us exactly when the next major breakout will happen. In this video, I'm going to show you the cycle structure most traders overlook, the support buyers are aggressively defending right now, and the trades I'm currently managing on Ethereum and Chainlink. This is Bitcoin on point. Let's dive into the content. Now, we're going to begin with the weekly time frame, and based on cyclical data, if you go back to sort of 2014, the length it takes or the time it takes for Bitcoin to actually break its previous all-time high is getting shorter. For example, in 2013, it took 1,183 days for Bitcoin to actually break that all-time high. And then if you look at the next cycle peak in 2017, it took only 1,085 days for Bitcoin to break its all-time high. Again, in 2021, we placed that all-time high at 65K. It took 847 days, so significantly less than the prior cycle to break the all-time high. Now, supposedly, say, October 2025, 126K was the local top, and we've placed the all-time high. Are we witnessing roughly 700 to 800 days before actually breaking out of it, sorry. You know, that would push us somewhere towards sort of 2028. Now, again, considering it was 847 in the last, and, you know, again, it is getting shorter over time, it's diminishing. It could be less. It could be around 600 to 700. You know, and that would be somewhere in 2027. But nonetheless, it's safe to say that if this is the local or new all-time high and we are tapping out, and, you know, we're in some sort of bear phase, there is also this parabolic curve that's being respected since these lows in 2015. So what we've discussed on the channel in the past, if you've been here with us in the content, if you look back at this peak from March in 2022, it ties up with the lows from August of 2024, roughly. And that price tag sits at around sort of 50K. And we've looked at 50K many, many times. So if Bitcoin is in some sort of bearish phase and we have tapped out, right, and it takes a while now to actually break the all-time high based on cyclical data from the past, right, albeit considered as getting shorter, if Bitcoin does witness some sort of rally and come back to 50K, that's the area where over time it's going to potentially build this base before eventually going for that breakout. 50K is a key support level that we've been talking about for a long time on the channel, guys. And it would be respecting the lows from sort of September 2024 and this previous peak of resistance from March of 2022. So there's a strong possibility that we could respect this curve, mark the lows somewhere around 50K, be it considered we lose 60, right? And then look to build that base and push on to new all-time highs. It's a strong possibility. But again, the key thing to take away from this Bitcoin cycle data is the fact that over time, the length it takes to break the previous all-time high is getting shorter. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. Now, let's take this into Bitcoin on the lower time frames. And we're gonna study Bitcoin on the daily for now. We did have this recent peak going into March of roughly sort of 74K. And this is the highest sort of local high for Bitcoin in the last sort of month. We had earlier resistance at 72K, which is the current imminent level of resistance Bitcoin's actually trying to push up to at the moment. So we've got 72K on the short term that we do need to break. But again, heading into March, we have seen this push up to a new local high at 74. Now, since that high and sweeping the liquidity from early February, we've now come back to a key level of support. And there's a bullish order block that's being respected as we speak, which sits at 67K. So as long as that level and the previous level of resistance at 67K is defended, this is where we could see that push up to 72K and eventually get the breakout. Now, a real significant market structure shift only begins if Bitcoin takes out the earlier highs from February at 78K. So if Bitcoin is forming some sort of macro bottom looking for a major reversal, defending this orange line for one, which is building higher lows, is a key thing to do. We've got the bullish order block at 67 and the local high at 74 to break. So if it's respecting higher lows and we continue to build a base, it could lead to a breakout heading into deeper March towards 78K. And I think that would be a deeper looking glass into which direction Bitcoin heads in 2026, right? So bullish order blocks are being respected on the daily. Bulls are stepping in as we speak, right? We're sitting at sort of 69K at the moment. So we're coming up to that 72K imminent resistance. So there's going to be a challenge on our hands. But 67 is being respected, and we have this orange trend line for support if it's lost, right? So the bulls still remain in control as we speak, defending this guardrail. Now, on the 8-hour time frame, there are two potential scenarios I'm actually looking at. We have a key level at 65k, which is being defended. As of yesterday, we tapped back into this zone. And we also had a key level in this sort of support from early March as well. Now, this is in early March where we broke out of a prior descending level of resistance. You can see with the breakthrough. And this led to the liquidity sweep at 74k, which was the push above 72 from the early highs in February. So we broke resistance. We swept the prior liquidity from early February on last Wednesday, pushing up to 74k. We've corrected to a key level of support. Now, the two scenarios here is Bitcoin either continues to push through 72k and then get that mark up towards 78, which is where we're looking for that bullish market structure shift. That's the level that Bitcoin does need to claim to say this was a potential bottom, right? That area it needs to get back above. We could break through and actually push to that, but failing that, if we do meet resistance at sort of 72, 73k, the key level to respect is back down at 65. So somewhere between 67 and 65 is the key level that Bitcoin needs to respect. And again, even on the 8-hour time frame, you can see we've got these higher lows that are building as well. So bulls are trying to step in, it's evident, right? And there are key levels below that need to be respected. Now, wrapping up Bitcoin on all time frames, let's head over to our own trading environment. And we're going to look at our ETH trade, which is currently active. And over the last couple of days, we did note that we was running into a level of supply, which ETH has been running into since sort of February. And that was at 2.1, 2.2k. And we did note that this is where we could see that liquidity sweep before a drop, right? We had this sort of green projection, a drop back down into this green order block, which sits at 1.9k. And that's exactly what ETH did. It came back into that sort of area, and that's what opened our position. So we got our entry at roughly 1.98 or 1.99, something like that, I think it was. And now we're looking to ride this long, potentially up to 2.2k. So similar to Bitcoin having ascending support, ETH also has it. Now, it is running into a lower level of resistance. You can see here, right, from previous highs, which sits at 2k. And if it does come back, we're just simply looking for this ascending support to hold, which has been respecting since sort of 24th of February on the 4-hour. So as long as this support holds, this is just gearing up for that expansion and our breakout targets to our TP at 2.2k. So ETH's looking beautiful, so to speak. Now, diving into Link. We had this level on Link that we was looking at, right, which was roughly $8.85, and it did come back down into that area. We did take profit. I think it was at roughly 2.2k on Link, and then we watched it come back down towards our stop loss zone. It held the same level of ascending support like Bitcoin and Ethereum has as well, the same level of ascending support that's been building since early February, and now it's got back above the entry level at $8.80. So we're now riding this one out, right, and we've got execution. We're back in, waiting for that ultimate TP target at sort of $9.69, I think it is. And again, even if we do see Link come back here and lose the $8.85, which is the level it's actually sitting at now, a key level. If it loses that, it could come back and build this higher low, which is still away from our stop loss, and then build up the opportunity to go for that break. So you can see structure is building, higher lows are building, and as long as it respects on this ETH trade where we have the positioning, that's where we're looking for that secure profit taking, right, to push up to our targets. So our trading environment is booming, so to speak, right? It's on track. Now, if we want to take a look into our overall environment, let's head over to our profits position dashboard. This is where we're taking our account from 10k to 100k. We're active and live in the flesh, guys. We're currently sitting at $1,300 profit. We've taken 11 trades and we got a 63% win rate. I think that's pretty decent. Look, our average win over losses is $227 to $50. Pretty decent, right? And again, in March, we've secured that trade of Chainlink, which was $210. And then the prior trade was from sort of later in February, late February, sorry, which was $500 on a Bitcoin trade. So we're active, we're capitalizing, and we're up 13% on the journey to 100k. Now you can get involved and keep up to date with all of our trading environments by simply clicking the link in the description. Join our free Telegram. It's where I share all the executions and the updates. All the trades, the entries, the stop losses, the whole environment is monitored there. So make sure you head over. Now, summarizing the video, Bitcoin is repeating its cycle diminishing time from what it takes to break its prior all-time highs. It's taking less time to break them, which is a good sign. 50k is a key level if local 60k support is lost. However, there is a good chance it's defended. So all eyes on the macro trajectory. Now, zooming into the daily, the bullish order block is being respected at 67k. 72k is imminent to break for a potential run up to 78, 79k. And also the 8-hour time frame shows the liquidity sweep coming back to the key level at 65. Ascending support is building and we're looking for that breakout. There are two scenarios: come back to 65 and respect support, or break the 72k for extension. ETH is going well on the trade. Link as well. We're back in, waiting for that potential extension up to our take profit targets. Everything, you can get this profits precision dashboard to monitor everything. 30 days free access. The link is in the description. And again, click the Telegram link if you want to stay up to date with our whole environment. I hope you've enjoyed the content. Until next time, peace out.